Hey, and welcome back to Talos Principle. Today, more reading! You know, we love it here. And we also have 10 other things we love about Gehenna, so let's read it, I guess. Lamb. Things that... Okay, this is just a post by Lamb. No more puzzles. I enjoyed solving the puzzles at first. They made me feel smart. Upon solving dozens of them, though, I started wondering, what's the point? And that's how I ended up here. You know, maybe this is a reasonable way to end up here in, like, that world. I don't quite understand because, like, to me, right, like, I as a puzzle gamer, I love puzzles, right? They could have given me, like, a lot more puzzles and I would have probably still solved them and continued solving them. This is just kind of how I do it. Second one, no minds. It's not really the exploding that drives you crazy, it's the sounds. Yeah, the sounds are kind of annoying, I'm gonna be real. No turrets. Just when you think you've solved something, turret. Also see above. Those whining sounds when they turn make you want to run in front of them just to end the pain. Fair enough. No stars. Sorry, Elohim, but I don't care enough about becoming a messenger to go through every nook and cranny looking for your stupid stars. Some of them are hidden in such absurd places, I don't even have the words for it. If finding those is what makes you a messenger, I feel sorry for them. Next time I ask for help at an altar, I give my condolences to Muriel. Okay. I think it's interesting that they know how to become a messenger, because I don't think I've ever figured it out until, like, the very end. I think, at least. Right, like, at this point it's been, like, almost half, like, it feels like half a year. I don't... When did I start? I mean, half a year is probably, like, close to, like, how long I've been playing this game. Like, at least 4 or 5 months? I don't know. But, like, in the time, like, I probably, like, if it was ever explained that these stars were, like, explicitly to become a messenger and not just, like, at the end, once you had all of them and Elohim, like, basically told you, hey, you got all the stars, I'm gonna make you a messenger. Right, then I just kind of missed it. Anyway. Fair enough. I actually really like the star puzzles for the most part, right? I mentioned this before, right? Like, I have, like, some complaints about, like, minor things in there, which honestly, they aren't even, like, that bad. I just like to complain. If I really had to, like, argue whether they were, like, terrible puzzles, I think that they would work, even though, like, I might have changed, like, minor bits about them. Anyway, I just like to complain. Top 6 to 3. Community. In Elohim's world, you are alone. There's no one like yourself to talk to or to hang out with. Here we are all friends. We have each other. I do agree, right? Like, I had kind of hoped that Milton and I would get along a little bit better, but, like, I feel like I gave some very bad answers at some point, and, like, part of this is also, like, you know how sometimes a game gives you options to say something and you kind of just misinterpret where they're going with it? Because I definitely had that, like, a good chunk of the time, gonna be completely honest, even up to, like, the very end, where, like, it might just be me that I'm sometimes, like, terrible at, like, reading situations like that. It's just, like, you know, I guess a skill I'm not that great at. Anyway, stories can take you away to a whole other world, can make you feel like you've lived in a whole other life. Here in Gehenna, there's always a new life to find. I somewhat agree with that, even though I do remember there being, like, a lot of stories even in the archives in the main game, and, like, since we can only see, like, a fraction of it, because again this is a game, I would argue they probably had, like, other stories, even though I think the living stories are probably more interesting, right? Like, we have it with, like, Goldboom, where these stories probably reflect, I guess, like, movements inside of the community, or sentiments at least. Interactive stories. If regular stories can take you away to another world, interactive stories, like we make them here in Gehenna, actually allow you to explore another world. They allow you to be free, no matter where you are. I do agree with that. Anyway, right, like, this is a game for me in any case, right? It takes me away already, but, like, if you were living inside of that, then it would not be a game, right? So having a game in there is, like, really cool. I still really love that it's, like, text-based adventures, right? Like, really. Did we talk about, like, limitation in art before? I bet we have, right? Like, the idea that, like, if I just told you, hey, make art, you probably could make something, but chances are it's going to be, like, a lot more interesting if I, like, limit you more and more until you basically have like nothing. I say like nothing, but like a certain set of tools. And right, like if I told you like, hey, draw a car, you might draw a car, but like if I told you, hey, draw a car, but only use like one singular color, like every shade though of that one, that could be interesting, right? Like how would you get like different, I mean, shading is probably still possible, right? Like, you know, darker tones, but like you can make a lot with that even, right? Like, and the limitation and like how to overcome it is actually how it's going to be like a lot more interesting. And this is like the same thing here. It's like, okay, they only have like text. How can they make this interesting? And they went with like text-based adventures. And even in those, we do have like graphics, which I always think like is really fun. Like I mentioned this before, like when I learned coding in the beginning, like at my job, like when I was in training, I had like a lot of time to basically just learn. And part of how I learned was just making, well, I actually made like a whole, I'm gonna call it like a whole RPG, but it was like also just using ASCII art, and that was like really fun. And it's also, again, a really massive limitation that I had to overcome. I had to like learn how to make like these graphics, and I think, like, I really hate myself for like not saving them, because they were like really interesting, even though they really sucked. Let's be honest, right? Like those were like really early projects of mine, but I do kind of miss them, because like I was so passionate, I had like so much time during those days where like there were like no proper tasks for us, that I had like so many hours to actually just invest in it. And like if there was like a problem, I could just throw myself at it over and over again until it worked, basically, which, you know, I don't really have the opportunity to, like, in my life, like, after work, basically, right? Like, or at least there are too many distractions. That's, like, probably the other thing, right? Like, I just like to find excuses. Anyway, creativity. As if all that wasn't enough, in Gehenna, we can create stories of our own. Do you think Elohim's world wasn't all that great? Go ahead and make your own. I do agree with that, though. Like, fully. I say, like, as if I didn't agree before, but, like, the fact that they are not only able to like create stories but also share them, because like technically you can always create your own stories, right? Like you can think of anything, but like the fact that you can put them in your own archive and others can actually interact with them makes it like, I guess, I wouldn't say like worth more, but it makes it more interesting in a way, right? Like art that is only made for yourself can be fun, right? But like the act of sharing, because again, like art is a form of communication, makes it more interesting. So, top 2. Being myself. In Elohim's world, you're always being defined by the process. Life is a struggle to prove how smart you are, and nothing else. If the system is always forcing you to do one thing, how can you ever be yourself? Only by dropping out of the system. Say bye-bye to all that. Now you are free to be as weird and original as you always wanted to be. Also, 100% agree, right? Like, in the puzzles, you are basically just tested for one thing. And, okay, there's technically like a little bit more to the test, but like, since these, at least sigils, you are always doing a specific puzzle. And there are like certain types of puzzles, right? Like, there are probably like specific terms for them. But this is like, these puzzles are basically ones where you have like one solution and that's it. You're basically tested if you can figure out this one solution, or you can glitch out using geometry, as I like to do. But you know that you probably have seen like a variation of that. There's like always the image that gets posted about like how the education system, for example, only tests for like one thing. And I had to think about that, right? Like where they're showing like, hey, climb this tree, and it's like a goldfish, a duck, and the monkey or something like that. And then it's like, yeah, some of them are like going to be really great at that and others aren't. And there's definitely the difference, right? Like I sometimes think that this is a little bit extreme, that image, even though there's like some truth in it, right? Like there are people who are better at certain things than others. And a lot of the value that is kind of prescribed to like people comes from like how they did academically, right? Like I'm saying like societally speaking, not that I genuinely think that like people are like less or like have less value just because they aren't like as smart, right? Like we had like a whole game to discuss like that all of those are still people and like all part of our humanity, like our human race, right? I'm not saying that, but like in our system, it's definitely, right, like these stats for some reason matter so much, and sometimes you kind of draw the short stick and you are good at something that isn't quite as measurable as other things. And also sometimes, right, it's just like the situation, right? Like you would be really great at climbing that tree as a goldfish if only that tree was also underwater, right? But yeah, this is like something just came up when I thought about that. And it's definitely similar here, right? Like there are so many qualities that you could test for to figure out, like I say, as if this is like something that's solved, but there are probably a lot of parameters you could test for to see whether an AI reached like human sentience, which is like part of what they're testing here, right? And they went for, hey, let's have them solve puzzles. Right? I know, this is just a part of that. There's also like the thing about like, thinking for yourself and like going against Elohim. That's like the second part of it. But still, this is something so specific that is being tested for. And like imagine you had like a child process that was like so perfect at everything, but they just didn't quite figure out like how those puzzles work. Maybe their jump key didn't work, right? Like something like that. Imagine how close they were, and it's just like, yeah, sorry, can't continue. Right? And like in reality, we would never have to collect those sigils. Right, so you're not even testing for something that useful in that moment. Again, the rest probably fine, right? Like being able to think for yourself and defy Elohim, reasonable, right? And also having like the chance to like read through all of those texts, and you're kind of tested on that because you had to like look through those texts to figure out like some of the passwords, which, you know, implied that you at least tended to read those, right? Anyway, top 1. Normal Elohim. My child this, my child that. The process, blah, blah, blah. Eternal life. Yada, yada, yada. Do this, don't do that. Behold, I put a huge tower right in front of you, but don't ever go there or I'll kill you. But let me ramble on about chaos and time for a while. That'll be interesting. Yawn. When is that guy finally going to shut up? And yeah, that's right. In Gehenna, worth it for that alone. Fair enough, right? Like, to be fair, Elohim is like in this difficult situation where they were put into that job, and I don't think that Elohim had like the chance to iterate upon, you know, himself. So that's still the question: is Elohim, right, like on the same level as like the other people in here? Because, like, you know, he's talking to us, right? This is always like such a big thing where it becomes like so anthropomorphized, right? As I think the word you could say, where like they just seem like more human than they maybe are, due to like their reactions and all of that stuff. So yeah, kind of hard to say, but like they're also like just, you know, I guess the result of their circumstances, just like we are, in a way. Anyway, back. And I guess we are at the last thread. Why do we deserve to be saved? Maybe the rest of you don't wonder about this, or don't care, but I do. We always assumed Elohim was wrong, was lying, something like that. The process could never be completed, maybe it didn't even exist. So we thought we were better than him and all the others. We told ourselves we ended up here because we were special. We were too smart for Elohim, too unique, too weird. But now the process is complete after all. It did work. So, what are we? Maybe we're just a bunch of stupid, broken old programs. Mutations that should never have existed. Aberrations. Sure, we're proud of being outcasts. But what if we are outcasts for a reason? All we've done is fail in some way. Why do we deserve to be saved? Okay, not looking at the answers as always. I try to avoid them if I see that there are like more options. In this case, right, like, I actually think that, right, like, I think this game is really interesting in that way, in this DLC. There's always the argument to be made that, like, you know, in this case, right, like, we can't really say human life because they're not human, but, like, this person's life is important enough to be saved. Like, no matter who they are, they should, you know, they have the right to exist in this case, or to live, whatever you want to call it. So there's, like, this point. And there's always the question on whether they're actually, you know, people, right? Like the whole first, like the base game was about that, figuring that out, where the lines are and how blurry they are. And this is still the case here, right? Like it's such a blurry line. Are those people? And like, even if you were questioning it before, I think the capability of creating art should at least somehow push us toward like the belief that they are people, right? Like, to me, because I've spent like so much time in the base game and I'm thinking about it, right? Like, to me, all the characters in the story like seem real, right? We had that in the previous episode, even when we talked about like the whole idea that like these characters are real, right? Like, these characters become more and more real the more I interact with them. Right, that's one of the reasons why I used like different pronouns for them, right? Instead of just calling them it, right? Like, I could just go that way, but like I do not see them just as objects, but to me they are like characters that make them really real. I know that they're not real, right? Like, I do know that somebody wrote them for me to feel that way, but it doesn't change the fact that I guess go with this certain level of respect to this game, right? Like, I meet the game halfway, maybe even more than halfway, so it can make its point. And that also means that all of them feel more and more real, you know, episode by episode, which is still such a fascinating human thing that that just happens. So yeah, like, start with that, right? Like, and now that we see that they are creating like art, it gets like pushed even further, right? Like, even though like I was already convinced, hey, they are probably, you know, worth to be saved, especially like if we can save them, right? Like, this actually goes like even further, right? Like, I'm assuming that this is like very similar in other countries as well. Like, I mentioned that I was like a junior firefighter, however we want to call it, right? Like, I was like basically in a club to train to become a firefighter in a way. And I could have gone that way if I had wanted to, but obviously, you know, I mentioned surgeries and all that stuff kind of threw a wrench into that whole, I wouldn't call it like career path, but, you know, the whole direction. But there was always like this thing that you learn very early about like how to prioritize your actions as a firefighter, where like you always save people first, and then like everything else that's a living being, meaning like pets mostly. And even there are like different rules, like where you like how you would do that. Like, for example, you wouldn't pick up like a goldfish before you save the cat, kind of thing, right? Like, there's like such a hierarchy in a way. At least this is like how I learned it, even though like it's generally like three main categories. It's people, it's pets, and then like property that can be saved, in that order. Especially if it's like something, I'm not just saying like monetarily valuable, but like maybe sentimental. But then again, like, fire is so dangerous, like you generally don't go like for a third round just to save like a picture or something like that. But yeah. And I just looked at the answers. Both of those are, in my opinion, 100% true. And this is like, again, like one of those things where I think me struggling sometimes to like really interpret like certain sentences makes this hard for me. So first of all, everyone deserves to be saved. This is like generally true. The other one is like, you have something to contribute. I 100% agree, right? Like, those are outcasts. They're talking about like how they are outcast mutations. And I would still say, hey, you are valuable. You have something to contribute. You're creating art. You deserve the same things that others do. But I do think that this message might go like the direction of like, oh, if you didn't contribute, then I would not save you, actually. Right? And that's kind of making it hard for me personally, right? Like, I do not know how this message is going to play out. But I would say that this is not just saying, hey, you deserve to be saved because you're like a person, you have like the minimum rights to be saved, to be viewed as valuable enough to, you know, put in the effort to get you out of here. There's also the thing that I genuinely think that these characters in here, right, that they're constantly creating, this process is going to be really important to us in the future. Whether they get like their own bodies or they're just going to be uploaded in like the same brain as us. these components are like really valuable and they should be there to be able to contribute. But I still think that this is going to be like the wrong answer if I click this, right? I've learned enough about this game. But here's the thing why I'm also going for the second one, and I might actually click it, because they're like so doubtful about, you know, being outcasts. And I would say like, hey, doesn't really matter in that sense. You're outcast, but like everyone has like the chance to contribute in like some way, even if it's different to like the expected contribution, I'm gonna call it, right? Like you might not be the best at the puzzle solving, but you have other qualities that I am looking for. And this is kind of where I'm going. I don't think my character is going to put it that way. I'm still gonna say that. Oh, this is actually better than I thought. You may not be perfect, but your imperfection has led to so much beauty. You will enrich the world to come. Okay, this is about the direction I would go. I guess I'll have to think about that. I find it difficult to believe our silly ideas are somehow valuable. This thread has caused an error and will be automatically locked. This is an interesting loading screen. Or like a loading bar, I guess. I don't like this, that it's blocked. And I can't restore it, right? Yeah. Well, this is something, but like this is genuinely something I think this is probably, of all the times I was like unsure about like my answer, I think this one was probably the cleanest one. Anyway, now that we have done this, we do have you. I would like to have some fun with those lasers. I bet I can use it like the other way around. I'm just gonna put you here, because I feel like this is going to be important at some point. Or do I want to put you on the fan? Okay, that may... how do I get you over there though? Don't have the jam? Okay, I do have jammer. I need the jammer here. Okay, that sounds maybe weird, but I do think that this might be part of the solution in the future, which is why I'm already like pre-planning. If I put you here, because then I should be able to see you. Oh wait, that's not actually possible. Dang. I just noticed this is not possible because the angle won't work out. Okay, I guess I got hyped for nothing. Okay, I guess I'm gonna return to this one then. Gonna use the cube. I bet I can use this for something. Maybe just to get like something raised. But I should probably first of all check out like what's even behind this door here. Okay, this is over there. There's a blue gate. Wait a second. Ouch. This is on me. We hadn't actually checked this one out yet. Okay, we can continue over there. So ideally I would like to do that. Also, we can connect to you already. Don't know why we would want to do that, but can't hurt, right? I mean, it will probably hurt for some reason. I don't know why it would hurt, but hey, let's just pretend it does. And I'm gonna open this gate for now. I don't think I can do too much here. Are you going to open like both gates? Like if I pick you up and put you there. Like obviously I can go like one step further and can go around. So I need like one more object. How would I reach that? Can I stack boxes in an interesting way? Like as always, I'm thinking about like how to break this. And maybe there's a way. Like if I put you here, I can't quite make it up there. But like if I have two here, then I should be able to like jump on it using... I'm still gonna... Do I even want to jam you? I need to jam you because otherwise you don't open. Okay. My idea is basically if I climb over here, I should land on the cubes, right? I guess they're not quite here. I should probably place them in a better position. Okay, like this. Hopefully this works. And we do also have the fan, but I don't think I can bring that one over, right? Yeah, this is like basically what I wanted to reach. I can like get up here, and if I was smart, I could probably bring something else. But for now, I only have like the cube. Can I bring both? No, I can't. Okay, I can't reach it. But I do have this cube. That means I can just put it here. I hope this is enough. Oh, it is enough. Okay. Easy peasy. Another star. Okay. Lovely. Very, very lovely. That means that now we just need to think about how to... Oh, wait, I can't actually reach you. Like, we still need to connect the laser to something. Because, like, we can see this one, kind of. Can I... If I put you onto, like, a box here, can I somehow reach both of those? I don't think that this is possible. Because, like, this is going to be, like, rather temporary, right? I'm not able to keep the laser going for long, and I don't know how long I need to keep it going. And, like, I definitely can't do it from here. But I can do it from here. Like, there should be an angle. I can look through that window over there and still be visible. Okay, maybe there isn't. Maybe there isn't. I'm gonna put you here, roughly. Yeah, there should be a way to do that. Issue obviously being that I don't really have... Oh wait, I don't even need that. I'm all thinking this again, right? I'm all thinking this. I need to jam you. I need you to connect to you over here. And also to you. And if I find like the right angle, then you're going to be connected, and maybe this is like just the right angle. If that's the right angle, then that's perfect. If not, then... Can I put you on top of a crate? Okay, this is at least like slightly higher. That's nice. I'm gonna move you over here though. This might help. I don't know if it's actually that useful. It could be. If it isn't, then who cares? We had like a blue laser here, right? Yeah. We had like something there. Doesn't actually matter too much. Now that we're here, I guess I'm gonna climb this mountain again, right? I definitely want to do this in this episode still. At least want to see if this even comes close to what I want to achieve. Like, if it's really close, then we can probably figure it out today. If not, if it's like completely off, you know, we still have like another puzzle to check out. Okay, let's get over here. Do some fancy jumps. Okay, yeah. Good old glitches. Very lovely. Should be doable. I just have to make sure that I like only jump once I see like the symbol, because otherwise, you know, it's going to be a long walk. Okay, over here. I hope this is like an angle where I can see anything. Okay, I need to put you further to the left somehow. I think the idea is decent. Right, because I don't think that there's any angle where I could do that. Okay, let me try this again, but move you to the left. Is there any way to do that? I'm currently thinking if I got you like over there, that would be great. And if I had like a box here, the issue obviously being that I am kind of limited when it comes to all my connectors. If I could bring like a connector over here, that would be amazing, but obviously not quite doable. But if I had like a connector here, right, and I can't see it from here. I should have placed you somewhere. But like if I put you like on a crate over here, that might be high enough to actually look over the crates here. Like here-ish. And it also should never get blocked. That's like the next important thing. Like if it's never getting blocked, then that's amazing. do think that this could be possible. I'm just gonna try it. Parkour. The best parkour. The kind where I get like the the jumps in front of me. And I always hit my targets. Okay, do I can select you from here. Is there any position where I can see you though? No, I need like a box for that to work. Is there any other place? Like if I had like one connector somewhere. Because again, like the angle is like just slightly off. And it's kind of annoying. Maybe there's a way? Maybe there's like another connector somewhere hidden. Wait a second. I'm gonna try to look around here. We've had like a similar situation before where there's just like a connector like somewhere in the trees. But I feel like if that were the case, then we would probably have like at least binoculars somewhere. Yeah, I don't quite see it. Over there could be a possibility. Okay, I guess I'm gonna just leave it for this episode. I bet that there's a way to do that. And it's like, it's probably very, very similar to what I'm currently doing. It's just like slightly off, like angle-wise. Maybe? Maybe. Okay, we definitely can't shoot through here, obviously. These are all blue. But I can bring them somewhere else. But is there like an angle where I could see that? I don't think there is. And even then, this is like way too close, right? Like even if I put you like somewhere there, I don't think the connector's going to connect. Well, okay, I'm gonna give up on this one for just a moment. I'm gonna do the last puzzle and then we're going to look into this one again. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the episode and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. I'll be seeing you next time. Till then, have a good one and bye-bye.